Even when the Giants tied the game at 10 off of a Brady interception in the second quarter, they were never in the game. In fact, it would have been nice if they just didn't show up at all and saved everybody 3 hours of Brady slurpage.
Yo, what is good in the hood, players? It's been Reacts, and I'm coming at y'all with another banger reaction. So look, man, today we got NFL Week 11 review by Barry McCockiner. Yes, that is his name. A lot of you all seem to have liked when he was talking about NBA superstars, you know what I'm saying, trolling. So, hey, I'm all for it. I like this content, and let's hop right into it.
Yes, hello, 911. I'm calling because my son just saw an NFL player
Kind of loud.
penalty on TV, and now he's selling drugs. No, I'm completely serious. No, wait, don't hang up. Fuck. It's Week 11 NFL review time. Get excited, motherfuckers. New England versus Atlanta. Notoriously safe and responsible driver Mac Jones led his team to a decisive 25-0 victory, this time in Atlanta against the Falcons. Gosh, losing by 25 points at home has to be the most embarrassing loss to the Falcons.
Hey, being a Patriots fan, hearing him talk about the Patriots and how we've been good for a pretty long time. Not even gonna lie to y'all, we've been good for a long time. But just hearing him talk about, you know, our history with the Falcons, just us in general, is hilarious.
Have ever had to the Patriots, right? Watching the 2021 Patriots is exactly like watching the 2001 to 2006 Patriots. They ask their physically limited white quarterbacks to make a couple of timely throws while relying mostly on their ground game and elite defense to control the clock and win the game. Simply put, Atlanta was never in the game because their offense never got going at any point. Mac Jones had like one or two good drives, which was more than enough to win, while his defense picked off 3 different Falcons quarterbacks, including returning one for a pick six game to close out the scoring. New England is rolling right now at 7-4, but at some point they're going to have to trust Mac Jones to win a game for them against a good team, and I'm still not convinced he can do it. Indianapolis versus Buffalo. It's official, the Bills are frauds. They let the mediocre-ass Colts walk into their home stadium and pinch them 41-15. There was a moment early in the second quarter when Buffalo cut Indy's lead to 14-7 that made you think they were finally calming down, but no. Indy scored 24 unanswered points afterwards to take a 38-7 lead going into the fourth. Indy's Jonathan Taylor scored 5 total touchdowns and is now getting MVP hype, which is honestly kind of comical since so much of a running back's success is dependent on their offensive line. But hey, any vote that doesn't go to Tom Brady is a vote I can get. All in all, Buffalo committed 4 turnovers and gave up 264 yards on the ground while their defense struggled to get off the field on third down. Some people are now saying that Josh Allen has only had 1 good season in his career dating all the way back to high school. Is Josh Allen really...
Do y'all agree with that? Because low-key, he might have some truth to it.
Just Paxton Lynch with better physical tools? It's tough to say. Indy is playing well, but come on, nobody's afraid of a team led by Carson Wentz. Cleveland versus Detroit. Did you know that Baker Mayfield is hurt? He's gone out of his way to let everybody know it, and he sure as hell played like it in this ugly 13-10 win against the worst team in the league. Perhaps Odell wasn't the problem, and Baker is just ass. Cleveland had a 13-0 lead at halftime before Detroit scored on a 57-yard touchdown run to make it 13-7. Detroit had 3 drives in the fourth, down 13-7, with a chance to take the lead, and only got a field goal out of them. For as bad as Baker was, Detroit starting quarterback Tim Boyle was even worse. In fact, Tim Boyle has literally never been good since high school. In 3 years at UConn...
Damn, I paused on the... Damn, what the fuck? I paused this at the right time.
He threw 1 touchdown and 13 interceptions. He moved down to the FCS level at Eastern Kentucky for 1 year and was still pretty bad, throwing 11 touchdowns and 13 interceptions.
That's sad.
4 years into his NFL career, he's combined for no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. It really does pay to be a 6'4", well-built white man sometimes. Baker's wife Emily is now at war with Cleveland's fan base. Maybe Baker just needs a few more trips to the Cheesecake Factory parking lot to calm him down. San Francisco versus Jacksonville. The lowly Jaguars were no match for our favorite Italian sex god Jimmy Garoppolo, who swaggered his way to an easy 30-10 win in the Sunshine State. This game was never close. San Fran controlled the time of possession 38 minutes to 22 and had an extremely balanced offense of 171 rushing yards and 176 passing yards. All-pro wide receiver Deebo Samuel acted more like a running back than a wide receiver. And all in all, San Fran just did whatever they wanted offensively. Jacksonville's offense, on the other hand, continues to be completely lifeless. They've scored just 43 points total over their last 4 games, and Trevor Lawrence, whose real first name is William, by the way, pretty deceitful if he would do that to me, looks like shit. At some point, we're going to start giving him some blame for Jacksonville's struggle.
Bro, this is why I be Oh my gosh. I was waiting on something like that. Like I was just over here grinning and laughing internally. But when he just says stuff like as abundant and as fast as that, like he's played like shit. Like that's so funny to me, bro.
Even though he's not the main culprit. Gardner Minshew put up better numbers in his 2 years in Jacksonville than Lawrence has this year. Just saying. Miami versus the New York Jets. This entire game was just weird. Joe Flacco started for the Jets while wearing number 19 as opposed to his usual number 5. Why the Jets started Flacco as opposed to Mike White while Zach Wilson continues to recover from injury is anybody's guess, but that's why they're the Jets. Flacco actually didn't play that bad, but the Jets defense made Tua Tagovailoa look like a 5th overall pick, letting him complete 27 out of 33 passes for 273 yards and 2 touchdowns, with an interception. 14 game to start the fourth, but Tua led Miami on a touchdown drive to give them a 21-14 lead. Flacco went 3 and out with his chance to respond. Then Miami tacked on a field goal to take a 10-point lead with 1:57 left. New York kicked the field goal with 18 seconds left to make it 24-17, but their onside kick failed and ended the game. Washington versus
That looked like a pretty decent game.
Carolina was spoiled by a guy whose last name sounds like a beer. Think about that for a moment. Cam threw for 2 touchdowns and ran for another, and generally looked way better than anybody thought he would in his first start back after a long break. Unfortunately, Taylor Heineke was even better, as he carved up, no offense to Thanksgiving turkeys, Carolina's defense.
That was a nice pass right there.
1.3 rating. The game was tied at 21 early in the fourth after Cam found sexy hard worker Christian McCaffrey for a touchdown. But Heineke led Washington on back-to-back field goal drive to escape with a 27-21 win. Cam's biggest flaw, his bad record in game-winning drive/fourth quarter comeback opportunities, showed up again here, as he had 2.
This looked like a great game too.
Or give Carolina a lead and turned it over on downs both times. Oh well, I'll take a washed-up Cam over Sam Darnold any day. Baltimore versus Chicago. Lamar Jackson missed the game with a severe case of explosive diarrhea. So he got the start. Luckily for him and the rest of the Ravens, they were playing a team led by a horrible coach and a horrible rookie quarterback. The first half was boring as Baltimore had a 6-0 lead off of 2 field goals. Then Justin Fields got hurt and replaced by Andy Dalton early in the third quarter, and Chicago's offense immediately scored a touchdown to take a 7-6 lead. There wasn't any more scoring until Baltimore took a 9-7 lead with 4 minutes left. Then,
damn, that's a low scoring ass game.
Pass to give Chicago a 13-9 lead with 1:41 left. Unfortunately, he left too much time on the clock for future Hall of Fame quarterback Huntley, who calmly led Baltimore on a 72-yard touchdown drive, capped off by a 3-yard touchdown run.
Buddy looked just like Lamar. That's crazy.
Seconds left to end the game. I'm just saying it doesn't look good for
the Ravens QB.
Dalton replaces him in the same exact situation and looks noticeably better. Houston versus Tennessee. Tennessee gets the 1 seed in their conference for 1 goddamn week, and they don't know how to handle it. I know it's the NFL and freaky shit happens sometimes, but to lose at home to this Houston team is so
yeah, they are really bad
that somebody needs to be arrested. This was a 19-0 game until late in the third when Tennessee finally got on the board. Tennessee cut the lead to 19-13 with 7.5 minutes left, and even had the ball down 6 with a chance to take the lead late.
Boy, I was gonna say.
Interception, and Houston capitalized off of it with a field goal, taking a 9-point lead with 3:30 left. Tannehill threw another interception on the next drive, and that was all she wrote. Tennessee is still the 1 seed in the AFC at the moment.
Still, somehow.
The Jets and Texans.
Damn, that's something in my eye, Joe.
See how anybody can take them serious right now. They aren't getting Derrick Henry back this year, and Julio Jones won't be back for a few more weeks. So don't.
Damn, Julio Jones injured?
No offense to the Titanic. Philadelphia versus New Orleans. That sound you hear is my boner ripping through my underwear after my Philadelphia Eagles took a shit all over the state of Louisiana by destroying the Saints 40-29. This was a 33-7 game heading into the fourth quarter before Trevor Seaman did some all-time stat padding to make the final score more respectable. Philly ran.
Damn, they are dogging these niggas.
All of which were by Jalen Hurts. I still don't have a lot of faith in him as a passer, but his mobility is legit. And you know who else is legit? Darius Slay, who now has 3 return touchdowns in the last 4 weeks. Philly has won 3 of their last 4 and now sits at 5-6 on the year.
Yeah, they can make the wild card.
And the fact that we have 4 games left against the Giants in Washington, we could easily finish with a winning record and a low playoff seed. You might as well already start preparing yourselves for 4 Super Bowl 56 in Los Angeles. It's happening. Deal with it. Cincinnati versus Las Vegas. This game disappointed me. It looked like it was bound for a thrilling finish.
I see, man, that's too low.
For Cincy. We all know Las Vegas has been through a lot this season off the field, but even when they were sitting at 5-2 a few weeks ago, you couldn't help but expect them to fall apart eventually. This is just what they do. I've talked about it all the time.
It's been facts. Damn, bro, it must be tough being a Raiders fan. Y'all have such a good record, and y'all fumble the bag every single year. That's tough.
boring nonsense before it finally started to pick up in the fourth, especially after Derek Carr threw a beautiful touchdown to make it a 16-13 game. Joe Burrow calmly led Cincy on a huge touchdown drive in response, taking a 9-point lead with 5 minutes left. Then Carr threw an interception. A few plays later, legendary women respecter Joe Mixon ran a touchdown in from 20 yards away to make it a 29-13 game. Carr fumbled, then Cincy added another field goal to reach the final score. Cincy is now a legit football team.
Damn, dog, them niggas 32-13? Golly.
The schedule. Arizona versus Seattle. It's official. My worst preseason prediction was saying Seattle was going to win the NFC West. They got a bit of a pass for losing a few games with Geno Smith after Russ got hurt, but since Russ has been back, he's looked even worse than Geno. It's obvious at this point he rushed back too early from an injury that typically takes longer to heal from. A week after being shut out on the road, he got badly outplayed in this one on his home field by
shouldn't have rushed back. That's tough.
13 loss. There was a brief moment in the fourth quarter after Seattle cut the lead to 16-13 with 7 minutes left that they could maybe pull it off, but McCoy led Arizona on a 74-yard touchdown drive to take a 23-13 lead before Seattle turned the ball over on downs to end the game. I'm going to miss watching
the Cardinals are looking nice this year. No cap.
Gum rapidly after this year is over. It was a great run in Seattle. Maybe they'd have another Super Bowl if they did exactly that. Run on the 1 yard line. Fuck. Minnesota versus Green Bay. The absolute most unsurprising upset, quote unquote, imaginable was Minnesota beating Green Bay, which is what happened in this thrilling 34-31 Minnesota win. This was unsurprising for multiple reasons. First off, Minnesota is a lot better than their 4-5 record coming into this game. Green Bay has been notoriously average on the road versus Minnesota with Rodgers, and most importantly, Kirk Cousins seems to turn into Peyton Manning anytime his team is one game under 500. For a moment, it looked like the game would be another one of those patented ugly Green Bay.
Damn, did he just miss? He
had
did.
A 16-3 lead and the ball late in the first half. But then Aaron Rodgers, who is currently dealing with a life-threatening toe injury, stopped playing like a stupid asshole and started making a bunch of ridiculous plays, leading Green Bay to a touchdown on each of their last 4 possessions. Unfortunately for him on this day, his defense didn't show up. Rodgers gave Green Bay a 24-23 fourth-quarter lead, but his defense gave up a 7-point conversion to go back down 31-24. Rodgers then threw a 75-yard touchdown to tie the game at 31 with 2 minutes left, but his defense dropped an easy interception, then gave up a game-losing 64-yard field goal drive to end the game. This is why I wasn't fooled by a few great games. The Packers defense will always let Rodgers down in the end. Never forget this. Kansas City.
That's true.
Dallas.
They do often let them down.
Flying shootout, no offense to Waco, ended up being a pretty boring and forgettable game, as KC got up early on Dallas and crawled across the finish line after a pretty lifeless second half to win 19-9. If you're a KC fan, there's 2 ways to look at this. You can be happy your defense continued to look great, albeit against an injured Dallas offense, or you can focus on how your offense once again looked like shit. They looked awesome on their first 3 drives, putting up 16 points, but fell back into their bad habits, putting up just 3 points on their last 8 drives. Another fluke turnover for
Cowboys, of course, fumbling the bag.
If KC is going to win anything important this year, it's going to be with ugly games like this. Gone are the days of the 38-35 barn burners where they could rely on the offense to bail out the defense. If you're a Dallas fan, you shouldn't be too shocked your team lost a big game like this, since that's what they've been doing since 1992. LA Chargers versus Pittsburgh. Before I talk about the game, which was pretty exciting and down to the wire, let me just take a moment to thank Ben Roethlisberger for heroically taking a separate plane to the game so he didn't infect any of his teammates with COVID. God, I just, wow. Name a better person than Ben Roethlisberger. You can't. It takes a true hero to not only get on a plane, but stay on the plane as it's flying. Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Anyway, LA had a 27-10 lead.
He's so sarcastic, Joe.
Typical boring bullshit offensively when suddenly they exploded for 27 points in the fourth, largely thanks to 2 drives starting inside LA's 11-yard line and another that started at LA's 34. Pittsburgh somehow had a 37.
Hey, Najee Harris is looking nice.
After a field goal, but Justin Herbert answered with a 53-yard touchdown pass to make it 41-37 LA with 2:09 left. Pittsburgh's final drive was a joke. Ben took 2 sacks, and then on 4th and 32, he threw a shitty 4-yard pass into the ground. I'll say it again. Pittsburgh somehow has a winning record every year, despite playing the ugliest brand of football imaginable and losing to shitty teams. Tampa Bay versus the New York Giants. A game featuring a Daniel Jones-led team against the defending champs on the road in prime time went exactly as you would expect. The entire time, Tom Brady either threw checkdowns or sat all day in a clean pocket while his receivers got wide open downfield. Brady's job remains laughably easy, yet the media and his fans still fawn over him like he's doing something incredible for making the most routine throws imaginable. Brady did nothing impressive at any point, and his team still won comfortably 30-10 because Daniel Jones isn't an NFL caliber quarterback. Even when the Giants tied the game at 10 off of a Brady interception in the second quarter, they were never in the game. In fact, it would have been nice if they just didn't show up at all and saved everybody 3 hours of great Brady slurpage. The Giants suck with their incredible defensive game plan of not rushing the passer and not covering anybody was truly legendary. Great job, you fucking worthless pieces of shit. And now it's time for America's faith.
Hey man, that's gonna be the end of it. Oh my gosh, bro. Even though I wasn't talking as much, I was so into the video and laughing, like in my head. He's so sarcastic. I love Barry McCockiner. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out, players. Deuces.